Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Michael Flecha. Welcome to this. You guys have been waiting a couple of days, and I know certain people's been dying to get my thoughts about the RWA, the Perseverance show that went down on Friday night. So, wait no longer. I'm going to give it to you right here, right now. I was thinking of holding off until tomorrow night on the wrestling forum, but with now the impending snowstorm that's supposed to hit in New England, the show's now become a 50-50. We don't know if we're even going to have a wrestling forum tomorrow night. With that said, I'm not going to waste any of the people's time. I'm going to give you my thoughts about the show, unfiltered, uncensored, right here, right now, tonight. I'm not hesitating. So with that said, I'm going to dive right in. And the first fight of the night that we had was Beard versus Beard. Judge Chambers went one-on-one with Thor Davidson. Thor Davidson won the match, which meant that Judge Chambers had to basically get his beard shaved. Well, Judge Chambers filed a motion, and that motion was that it was an unfair fight, that the referee was unprofessional, and that he was not going to get his beard shaved on that night. Okay, the fight itself was a 2-star fight. I thought it was a solid match, good opener. It had a lot of good back and forth, ring psychology, the whole 9 yards, and it really brought a lot of the good emphasis of the RWA. Both men had a legit chance to win this fight, and it was a good solid match. At the end, it was a nice little pinning combination by Thor Davidson. He got the 1-2-3. He won the fight. That meant Judge Chambers had to shave. Well, Chambers does not do it and basically told Thor, if you want it, you gotta come and get me. Alright, now, I don't know what RWA management's gonna have to do here, because in the stipulation, it did mean that Judge Chambers had to shave his beard off, and he has not done that. And as of what I've known up to this point from a lot of wrestling insiders that I know that follows not only RWA but wrestling in New England, this has not been done as of yet. So, now something has to be done. It was specifically in the guidelines. We haven't seen the fruition. We'll get into that in a later date and when more becomes available. So next up, we had a one-on-one match. Well, what was going to happen next was basically the reveal. It was Jack Connor showed up, and basically he was going to get awarded the Triple Crown Championship. The newly crowned Triple Crown Champion was going to get his belt, and basically, we were going to wait later in the night for the match, for the title, T.Phoenix versus Jack Connor. Well, President God, Devin Blade, showed up and basically threw a monumental monkey wrench into everything. Number one, he called the fight off. So there was no T.Phoenix versus Jack Connor. That fight's now canceled. 2, Jack Connor was going to fight later in the night. We didn't even know who he was going to fight, so we had to wait for him. For T.Phoenix, he was going to fight somebody else. We don't know who that was. We were going to wait till later in the night for that situation. Basically, President God was throwing his weight around and basically was saying, you wanted power, you got to play by my rules. You're not getting the title shot. You're not fighting Jack Connor. There's somebody else who's going to fight you tonight. Someone who's got a major bone to pick with you. Alright, with that said. So, unfortunately for you guys, we lost out on a Triple Crown title fight. But we did get one a little bit later in the evening. Alright. So next up we had was the tag team elimination for the right to become the number one contenders for the RWA Tag Team Championship. This was Team Mac Attack, the Heavy Hitters, the Cool People, and the Middlesex Express. Well, we actually got a fifth team that got added to the fight. The Hoods showed up. Davey Cash and Chris Pyro, they showed up. They're like, well, Team Mac Attack got eliminated, so we talked to RWA management and they threw us in. So we got ourselves a 5-way now for the belts. Oh, for the number one contenders. Alright, cool, fine. At the end of the fight, when it was all said and done, the new number one contenders for the RWA Tag Team Championship were the Heavy Hitters. Yes, right. Shay Cash and Frank Champion, they won it. They're former tag champions. They get the opportunity. They get to fight for the belts. We don't know when that fight's going to happen. It'll probably happen soon enough, sometime down the line. Maybe April Rain. We'll get into that in a little bit. Next thing we know, we got Liz B. Whoa, Liz B shows up. And she cuts a promo. And it was very good. Alright. She emphasizes about, her road to redemption. She talked about a blown ACL that she had, a knee damage, basically ravaged. And it was almost a career-threatening injury. She tore her ACL. Normally in sports and professional wrestling, an ACL tear, you're actually sidelined for at least one good year. You're sidelined for about one full year. She came back in about 6 to 9 months and then worked her way back to fighting shape to become an RWA wrestler, and now thus she got a golden opportunity. Now, she did sabotage T.Phoenix in the last event, which was a month ago. It was after Christmas Chaos. It was, I think it was Elite Status, actually, the first major event of the year back in February, and she turned on T.Phoenix. Well, she was saying that, I had this opportunity, I failed at it, I thought you were going to have my back, you never did. And now I want retribution. That's right. Liz B called out T.Phoenix for a fight. One-on-one. T.Phoenix is like, look, I got nothing bad against you. You're an amazing person, but you want to fight me? If this is what you want, be careful what you wish for, my dear. You're going to get it. The match was on. And when it was all said and done, Liz B walked out with the victory that night. On Friday night, Liz B got the biggest win of her career. And as a matter of fact, I actually got a chance to talk to Liz B privately after the fight was over. And I am going to announce right now, I have a Wrestling Forum exclusive, a Mikey's Mindset exclusive. Sometime down the line, we gotta nail down the date when we're gonna do this. But I am going to have Liz B right here on the set in the house, and we are going to chat about her big victory. We're going to chat about what's going to be in her future, and plus we're going to dive a little more deeper into her days in the RWA. We're going to talk about that ACL injury. We're going to talk about, we're going to dig deeper into what led to Liz B to go into that fight that she wanted T.Phoenix so badly. Then there's another moment that broke out, and I'm getting into that in a little bit later on, that needs to be addressed. We'll get into that. Alright, so next up, right after that fight, which was stunning upset, the next thing we got was we had the one-on-one match, the number one contenders for the RWA Hype Championship. So it was basically the Revolution versus Just Alex versus Francesco Abruzzi versus Mike Santana, and a fifth man got added to the fight. Nick Marchand was already guaranteed a shot at the RWA Hype Championship, but he threw his name into the hat for unexpected, out of nowhere, and Cipriano Abruzzi, his friend, was like, "What are you doing? You have a guaranteed shot. You got a shot at for the belt. Why are you putting it on the line? You're making a humongous mistake." Well, he did make a huge mistake because it cost them huge, because we ended up with a no contest because Vincenzo Abruzzi and Nick Marchand both got a submission on Mike Santana at the exact same time, and Mike Santana tapped out. Manny Souza made a humongous mistake, and basically there was a double submission. Who gets the victory? Alright, who tapped first? You can't call a tap out victory for one man because they both had the submission at the exact same time. A major mistake happened, and it cost not only Nick Marchand, but also Vincenzo Abruzzi gets robbed here, because now we got no number one contender. The biggest winner of this? Triple-licious, the RWA Hype Champion. Now he's got nobody in the rearview mirror. He's got a clean shot at... No, he's sitting pretty right now, but he also had a major fight on his hand because of the fact that he had to defend the title later in the evening against Tyler Nitro. We'll get into that in a little bit. Alright, so next up we had, which was a shocking twist to say the very least. Well, first off, before we get into that, there was a big announcement that was made. Rob Massey, classy Rob Massey, has decided that he was leaving the RWA. He was the voice of the Renegade Wrestling Alliance for the last 5 years, and he is stepping down due to personal commitments and to personal reasons. Rob Massey's been the voice of the RWA for me since I started following RWA, which was about 3 years ago, when they first showed up at the East Providence Recreational Center for Legacy. That was the first event I ever gone to. Well, it was actually Dynasty. That was the first event I ever went to. It was through the encouragement of Wrestling Form's First Lady, Megan Silva, and a Wrestling Form contributor and also a good friend of mine, Kenny Brightman. They both told me, yo, there's this wrestling company coming down at East Providence. You are a big diehard wrestling fan, which I am, and you should come down. It's called Renegade Wrestling Alliance, RWA. I think we're going to have a great time. I went down there. I had a blast. I got a chance to meet guys like Mike Santana, Lucy Santana, Devin Blades, Mike Montero, Jason Devine. I could go on for days with all the guys that I met, and I instantly developed great friendships with all the guys. And ever since that day, even Rob Massey, the voice of the RWA, and I got a chance to talk to him and at least hang out during the chop shop after the shows were over. We got into say, hey, great job. He's like, oh, thank you for coming, thank you for being a supporter for RWA, and we got at least a little bit of some chatting together, and he was definitely the voice of the RWA for me, and I'm gonna miss the guy. I think he was a great commentator, a great announcer. He really was great. I posted a video on my Facebook about him doing the introduction for the main event of the evening, and he always knew how to jack me up. My blood was boiling every time he was pumping us up, talking about the main event of the evening. It's showtime, and just got the crowd revved up for a main event fight. And it's a darn shame that we're not gonna get to hear him anymore. But I wish him nothing but the best in his future endeavors, and I hope he does come back to the RWA. It's probably not going to be the same without him, especially commentary wise. But I do know that Dante, and I do believe some of the other guys, will definitely pick up the slack. And I'll even put my name out there, guys. If you ever need me to do a show, I'm more than willing to help you guys out. I got a little bit of some commentary experience. I've done it for the wrestling forum. Obviously, there's been a couple of times where you got to hear my voice through some YouTube posts, either from like WWE events that I've done, and we've done some other sports throughout my years. So I would love to put my name out there. Hopefully, if my schedule does warrant it, where I can do a show or two, then maybe we can do something in the near future. That's all I can say about that up to this point. As far as you, Rob Massey, goes, thank you for being such an inspiration for me, because you're one of the reasons why I want to be in sports broadcasting. Also, like the Gorilla Monsoon, the JRs, the Gordon Sullys. That's going way back in the day for all you wrestling buffs out there. I do admire your work, and I do admire what it takes to be a commentator for wrestling events, and I do take it very seriously as well. So I appreciate everything that you've done, and I wish you nothing but the very best. Next up, guys, was the Triple Crown Championship fight. Normally it would be the last fight of the night, but they did this a little more earlier in the evening. The title was on the line. It was the champion, Jammin' Jack Connor. He puts the title on the line in a triple threat fight against the Insane Dick Lane and the Terror Tom Billington. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout, and still the RWA Triple Crown champion, Jammin' Jack Connor. And for you, my friend, Jukebox Hero, you did it, my friend. You successfully defended the title. What a match this was. A great six-man tag. And then there was a weird moment in the fight where my boy, Dr. Artemis Kavapot, he was able to get the super suit back into the control. And when Dick Lane found out that his suit was mind controlled, that he was basically a weapon of terror for Tom Billington, he went off. He went after Tom Billington. He said, "You SOB," and started beating him up. Unfortunately, when he had an opportunity to try to win the belt, actually Liz B showed up, and Tom Billington was able to regain the super suit, uploaded, I guess, a new virus in, and the next thing you know, Dick Lane actually crashed and burned and actually fell from the top rope to outside on the floor. And I mean, you heard a major splat on the mat, and I'm like, oh, what happened? Next thing you know, Liz B takes him back to the backstage and is like, don't worry, we got you. And turns into a one-on-one fight. And Jack Connor was able to get the job done, win the match, keep the belt. What's next for Jack Connor? We don't know. But me and Jack Connor actually chatted, and we're going to have a Facebook exclusive sometime in the very near future. Myself and Jack Connor, a one-on-one. And I would definitely love to chat with him. Talk about the 5-year odyssey for him. More importantly, what's next for Jack Connor? Because I would definitely like to get to talk to him and, see what the future is. I know his schedule is really busy. He definitely commutes. He goes around the country. And plus, it's a lot more harder for me to get to Jack Connor because he's all the way out in Cleveland, Ohio. He is out in the Midwest. I'm out here in the East Coast, in East Providence, Rhode Island. So this is going to be a little more difficult for me to get an interview with Jack Connor than it is for Liz B, because I know Liz B is local. She is from here, from Rhode Island. So, but Connor is from Ohio, so it's going to be a lot more harder for me to get to him than it is for her. Alright. The next thing we got is the RWA Hype title was on the line. It was Triple-Licious versus Tyler Nitro. The winner of the bout, still the champion, is Triple-Licious. There was a little chicanery. There was some shenanigans. Thanks to the beautiful Deanna on Fire and that big brute, Mike Gamble, the Secret City outfit. They were able to get the job done. You know, the numbers game caught up with Tyler Nitro. Even though Tyler did an amazing job, he almost won the belt at one point in the fight. He gained some momentum. He definitely dominated. He looked like he was going to win the belt. Deanna started playing her little seductive mind games on the referee. Next thing you know, you had a little bit of a pull. A couple of moments there. Actually, there was one moment where he was trying to go for an outside move. The hook of the leg by Deanna. He tried to get a little piece of him. Tried to get a little piece of her. Gamble, being the bodyguard, was protecting Deanna at all costs. Triple-Licious was able to get the 1-2-3 on basically a devastating finishing maneuver. And massive credit and much props to Tyler Nitro. I know we haven't seen the last of you, Tyler. You were an amazing fighter in this fight. You definitely fought your tail off. Congratulations on a great performance. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. Alright, the main event for the RWA Tag Team Championship. It was The Influence, Mike Montero and Jason Devine, putting the titles on the line against Tommy Trainwreck and President God Devin Blades, the Minutemen, the winners of the bout, and new RWA Tag Team Champions, the Minutemen. The worst thing could happen was we lost The Influence. The 5-year partnership is done. They are kaput. And it breaks my heart to say that, because it was an amazing main event. But the referee got taken out. Well, President God Tiger bombed Tony P. And then Manny Souza basically was thrown into the mix. And he got taken out by Tommy Trainwreck and got sacrificed by Mike Montero. Mike Montero was going to try to do a flying plancha, and basically he hit the referee and took him right out of the ball game. The next thing you know, the numbers game, the 2-on-1, a steel chair was used. He basically used the weapon on Jason Devine. The next thing you know, a tag team finishing maneuver. Tony P comes back into the ring. 1, 2, 3, fight over. They win it. They won the belt. President God is now a more powerful God, because of the fact that, like I said it on my previous video, he who has the gold has power. He's the President God of RWA. He's now the RWA Tag Team Champion. On top of that, he prevented T.Phoenix from getting the Triple Crown Championship. He now has the Irish Warrior in his back pocket. He's got Tommy Trainwreck, his partner, as a tag team champion. Devin Blades wanted me to sing the praises of him, told him how President God is ruling RWA, and he is. He's ruling it with an iron fist. And right now, if you're Big Daddy T.Phoenix, you gotta go back to the drawing board, because now President God is now powerful than ever before. And in this game, it's about a battle of war. He's winning the battle. He's winning the war. T.Phoenix, the ball is now in your court. What do you do to neutralize this power? Because right now, the Minutemen are ruling the RWA. Your 9-year company has been thrown upside down, inside out, and the funny man is laughing at all the power that he's getting. As a matter of fact, President God has also mentioned that he wants to be an exclusive interview with me right here on YouTube.com, on Facebook, on the Mikey's Mindset and Wrestling Forum. And I gotta say, I can't deny him. He is the power of RWA right now. He is basically the voice of the RWA. Until then, I must oblige. And plus, I know he'll probably give me some exclusive interviews probably down the line, because I want to talk with Triple-licious, and I'm willing to go down to the Secret City and meet with the Secret City outfit. I'm gonna have to deal with Mike Gamble. I'm most likely gonna have to deal with the beautiful Deanna on Fire. Whatever the case may be, I'm willing to do it. For the wrestling fans, for the RWA fans, for the Wrestling Forum fans out there around the world. This was an amazing event. This was a great wrestling show. And with that, I was very impressed with RWA. Their next event is April Rain. It's going to be in April, in a few weeks. Matches will start being announced very soon. And when they are announced, you can find it right here on the Wrestling Forum, on my page, on Mike Flecha's Facebook page, on my Twitter, and hopefully I'll have some more for you guys very soon. So, that's it. We're done for tonight. I want to thank all you guys for watching this. If you do watch it, leave a comment at the bottom, like the video, share it with all your friends. I also want to give a big thank you to the Renegade Wrestling Alliance, because you guys have been so good to me and to my friends in the Wrestling Forum, and I will continue my support of you guys, because you guys are the best professional wrestling company in the state of Rhode Island, period. And I will always go to bat for you guys, because you have always been so good to me and my friends. Hugs and hand pounds. I am out. I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow night for the Wrestling Forum at 11 p.m. Eastern on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. And until then, have a good night, everybody. So long for now.